Last week I made a video explaining why Twitter sucks ass. At the end of the video, I was somewhat at a loss for what to do about this, and while some people suggested other solutions like the website Mastodon and decentralized social media, those don't solve the issue now. So in this era of Twitter, what do we do? Well, I've done some research into Twitter's workings, and I'd like to offer a guide. I won't call these hacks because hacking Twitter means something different, so here are some Twitter tips. These are especially useful for creatives. Back here again, can't get enough. JoJo explains some interesting stuff. Number 1, play the game. Before I get into anything specific, I just want to say, if you're using Twitter for self-promotion or branding, or just to get your art into the world, I think that's wonderful, but the most rewarding way to use Twitter is as intended, as a social media platform first and foremost. I see a lot of people who get on Twitter and aggressively promote their own stuff without interacting with others. Reply to creators you like, look at their replies, and talk to people. Act like everyone there is a potential new friend. This is how I've made so many friends on the site and opened myself up for many networking opportunities. I've seen the term clout chaser thrown around a lot, but I wouldn't worry. Unless you're genuinely exploiting people, it's not chasing clout, it's just making friends. You know, that thing that people have been doing for tens of thousands of years. Number 2, tweet and reply. I mentioned in the last video that the timeline is a strange beast. For your tweets to be seen by followers, you should tweet frequently. A good habit is to just kind of tweet anything that pops into your fucking head. You don't really need a filter on Twitter because people aren't going to see half your tweets anyway. The best thing you can get on your tweets isn't likes or retweets, but replies. Replies represent people willing to engage with your tweets on a level above just pushing a button or to like it or boost it. Also get into the habit of replying to others. Replies get sent to the mentions tab of whoever you're replying to, so they'll usually see it no matter what. Just talk to people. If you're not the type who tweets often, then it might be a good idea to encourage people to turn on notifications for you. This especially goes for people with separate art accounts. You can also use the scheduling feature to schedule your tweets further out, so more people will see them and your tweets aren't all bunched together. Number 3, retweets versus reposts. On Tumblr, it used to be that posts would be circulated for months, sometimes years. The Tumblr account Heritage Posts found such blogs and boosts its ancient content. Tumblr's economy of posts is very different to Twitter. Where it's common on Tumblr to see years-old posts, on Twitter it's rare to see posts that are more than a few days old. Tumblr also circulates posts from deactivated blogs, which isn't the case for Twitter, which deletes posts from old accounts. I'm not sure whether this is due to Twitter's back end, in other words, Twitter actively suppressing old posts, or because users on Twitter get bored more quickly, but it's the case. This also goes for retweets. To summarize, tweets that are a few days old or more do not get circulated, period. Therefore, if you've made a funny meme, or a video, or just a very good post, it's wise to delete them and then repost them, rather than retweet if you'd like to boost viewership. So for instance, let's say I've got a funny picture of Tom Scott that I edited with the Germa face, and engagement has died down, but since posting it, I've gotten some new followers. Instead of retweeting the old post, which will be suppressed, post it anew, wholesale. This also gives you a chance to recaption it. The reposted work might get less engagement since people have already seen it, but it doesn't matter. You might be worried that people would get annoyed at these reposts, but I wouldn't really worry about it. No one cares if you repost a funny meme or two, and they might appreciate seeing it again. Number 4, searching and archiving. Another field that Tumblr has a leg up on Twitter is for archiving. Twitter has no archive whatsoever, so unless you want to scroll for days and days, make sure to keep this tip in mind. The Twitter search feature is very useful if you know how to use it. If you remember a phrase you used in an old post, a good way to find it again is to search the phrase, then type from, your account. That way, Twitter will limit your search to your account. This can also be done for other accounts. It's not ideal, but another way to archive it is to use a notepad document to keep your posts you put a lot of effort into, or add some kind of telltale phrase to posts you put effort into that you can search easily later. Number 5, photo power. This one is simple. Text-based posts get less engagement than posts with photos. Again, I'm not sure if this is due to user habit or Twitter's backend, but there you go. Even if it's just a watermarked stock photo, people will like it. Number 6, videos. Videos on Twitter are also useful for engagement. If you have a YouTube channel or a video-based project, making previews compatible with Twitter is a good idea. Twitter allows 2-minute and 20-second videos, which is considerable for the websites. It's also recommended that if you have a music project, to post videos with your music in it, even if it's just a waveform. A good tool that's free to make quick Twitter-compliant previews of your music is a vPlayer. For people on iOS, you can use Wizabell. Since Twitter mutes videos by default, make sure to include the turn on sound in the video itself at the beginning of it or on the post. Encouraging retweets is also acceptable. Number 7, copyright scrubbing. If you make a meme that uses a copyrighted song or footage from a film, make sure to delete it after a week or two. Twitter copyright is incredibly strict, and people get suspended for just one infraction, sometimes from videos that are years old. Do not keep them around. They will stop getting engagement after a few weeks anyways. This goes double for fan cams. Number 8, diversify. Your presence should not be exclusive to Twitter. Facebook groups, YouTube channels, Discord servers, and even Tumblr are better and less volatile platforms to operate on. Many people have been banned from Twitter for small infractions. Twitter should be considered a very bad platform for retention and hosting. Do not use Twitter to link or host images. Do not use Twitter to build engagement. If you get suspended, you'll have to start your following from scratch, which is very difficult without other mechanisms in place. Number 9, self-promotion. Twitter is a terrible platform for self-promotion. Unfortunately, it is one of the largest platforms for self-promotion, meaning that it is paradoxically one of the best. The reasons for this are myriad, but the main reason is that Twitter suppresses links. Again, I can't confirm if this is backend or user preference, but tweets with links always get less engagement. I've run some tests, and for me at least, identical tweets with links get only half of the views of ones without. This means that links to other platforms like YouTube and DeviantArt will always be suppressed. What this means is you'll have to lean on other things such as branding. Using graphics that have the name of your page in them helps, mentioning your pages without linking them helps, and if you make a promotional video for a YouTube video, post the link in the replies so the original post won't get suppressed. That said, very few people actually click on the links on Twitter. Twitter wants desperately to keep you on Twitter. This means that you have to play the long game. Build recognition and you'll catch lots of people. Again, don't be afraid to repost either if it's been a while since you've promoted something. Twitter might suck, but it's better than other sites like Reddit, which have explicit anti-self-promotion rules for some reason. That travesty is a topic for another time. Number 10, turn off push notifications. This one's pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing that Twitter notifications can give you. I'm serious, turn them off. If you turn them off, the notifications in-app still appear, so it won't suppress anything. Push notifications just distract you and try to drag you back onto the site. This isn't conspiratorial or anything, but Twitter is trying to get you addicted to it. Resisting this is vital if you want to keep your sanity. Consider using Twitter on desktop instead of the app, and don't turn on push notifications to open yourself back up to distractions. Checking it at work or something is fine, but push notifications are just trying to drag you back. And that's it. 10 tips to improve your Twitter experience, whether as a creative or not. I hope these helped, as they helped me, and I had to figure them out the hard way. If you have any tips, post them in the comments of this video, and I might make a follow-up video. I'd like to thank this month's patrons. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and of course, tickle my balls. Today's anti-sponsor is Raid Shadow Legends. I tried the game, and it blows. It's garbage. It's worse than Clash of Clans. It's so riddled with loot boxes and microtransactions, all to prop up the abysmal gameplay. No shade to any channel who does promote this game, as YouTubers need to eat, but I'm not promoted by them, so I don't need to suck their dicks. If you want to put yourself in a Skinner box that will exploit you, play Overwatch. Then at least your shitty game has a community around it. See you next time.